Alright. I made this video a few times, right? And the video just devolves into me complaining, but I think it needs to be said, right? At this point, it needs to be said. So this is going to be a bit of a rant video, and pretty much it's just going to be about the life cycle of this game. More importantly, the Dragon Ball FighterZ rollback update that came out yesterday. So what happened, right? Let's just get into it. So I'm going to quickly catch you up to speed on the life cycle of Dragon Ball FighterZ. I'm going to try to do it in like a minute or two. Alright, so Dragon Ball FighterZ comes out in 2020. 2020? What? My bad. Already messing up. Dragon Ball FighterZ comes out in 2018. It was just, you know, a little fighting game that people thought was really cool. And yeah, I mean, it's a fighting game based off of one of the most popular franchises to ever grace the planet. And for me, you know, I had played fighting games all my life, but I was just a little kid who mashed his face on the buttons. And Dragon Ball FighterZ comes out, right? I am 14 when this game comes out. So obviously I'm at an age where I can actually understand how these games work. And here's the thing, I never bought a fighting game for full price at that point. I mean, the most fighting games I played, Mortal Kombat X, Marvel 2 on the PS3, and Marvel 3, I would say. Those are the big ones I played in my life. But you gotta understand, when Marvel 2 came out on the PS3, I was like 5 years old. Like, I was just mashing my face on the buttons all the way up until MKX. And then MKX, I think, was the last fighting game I bought until Street Fighter, or, my bad, Dragon Ball FighterZ came out. So, yeah, this was, and you know, I bought Dragon Ball FighterZ because I was a massive, well, I am a massive Dragon Ball fan, right? So, of course I want to play another Dragon Ball game, and this was, probably still is, it's up there, the best looking Dragon Ball game. So, yeah, it's a fighting game, but it's Dragon Ball, and it's the best looking Dragon Ball game. And it's a 3v3, which is a game that I have experience with because, you know, I was a button masher on the Marvel games. So yeah, this was like, I have to play this. And here's the thing, the reason I'm telling you this is because this is a lot of people's mindsets for this game. This game, that same story right there applies to so many people for this game. This game was revolutionary for how many new players it brought in. I would say, I guess, the only fighting game to bring in more players than Dragon Ball FighterZ was probably Street Fighter 4. Like, this game was massive. So, that story doesn't only apply to me, it applies to many people. No matter what age you are, you know, this game might have really started you into fighting games, or this might be the only fighting game you play to this day, you know? It was a big one. So, and I want to make that really clear. The reason I'm saying this is because, obviously, that's incredibly rare, that's incredibly special, but Bandai treated this game like it was just a 3D generic anime arena fighter. That's how they went about treating this game. So, game comes out, and over the life cycle of the game, it ends up selling 10 million. 10 million. It sells 10 million. If you don't know, that puts it in the top 10 most sold fighting games ever made. 10 million is more than Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 1, and Tekken 8 combined. So, yeah, this is a once-in-a-lifetime revolutionary game. And like I said, let's just go over what they added to this game. There were 4 seasons of content and 1 new stage throughout the whole life cycle of this game. 4 seasons of content, 1 new stage. That was it. Does that sound like a top 10 fighting game to you? Does it? Because not to me. To me, it just sounds like any other fighting game, if not worse than any other fighting game. Because most fighting games get more seasons of content than this game did. Tekken 8, or my bad, Tekken 7 got more characters and more stages than this game did. Same with Street Fighter V. So, yeah. That should really go to show how little they cared about this game. And don't get me wrong, I understand that Arc System Works is a small studio, but Bandai really didn't care about increasing the amount of content this game was going to get or anything really. So this game kind of got disrespected its whole life because, like I said, it only got 4 new seasons the whole time and 1 new stage the whole time the game was out. On top of that, it also, to this day, like right now, it is the least competitive version of the game. The balance updates slowly over the years turned the game less and less competitive until we got to this point right now where it's the least competitive it's ever been. So we barely got enough content in this game. We got less content than most fighting games get. We only got 1 stage the whole time, and the balance update slowly made the game less competitive over the years. Again, this is a top 10 fighting game in terms of most sold fighting games of all time. Does that sound like a game that's being treated as a top 10 fighting game? Does that sound like it? So, that summary lasted way longer than I expected, but I'm just trying to really hammer home the point about this update. That brings us to the update that came out yesterday, Rollback Netcode. So, Rollback Netcode got announced in August of 2022. This was before Street Fighter 6 came out. This was before Tekken 8 and Mortal Kombat 1 were even announced. And we're assuming most rollback updates take 4 to 8 months to come out. That's, like, I would say the standard time for a rollback update, 4 to 8 months. So we're assuming that we're going to be playing this update in February, March 2023. That's what we're expecting. Anyways, Street Fighter 6 comes out, no Dragon Ball FighterZ rollback. Mortal Kombat 1 comes out, no Dragon Ball FighterZ rollback. Tekken 8 comes out, no Dragon Ball FighterZ rollback. All in all, it took about 18 months for them to release rollback from yesterday until they announced it. So from the time they announced it until it came out, it was about 18 months. Which, like I said, it normally only takes 4 to 8 months to add a rollback, historically, from what we've seen. Sometimes it might take a little longer, but never 18 months. So, there was also a beta in December for rollback, where people can test out the rollback netcode. Anyways, the beta was clearly useless because the release version of rollback netcode is worse than the beta. All of the problems from the beta are still here, and there are some new problems. So you see the character pictures, how they just start flashing randomly? Yeah, that's just a visual glitch, and for some reason they never fixed it. It was in the beta, and it's just still here. See, like the character pictures just start flashing white very randomly? Yeah, they never fixed that. Your character models can get duplicated. There can be 12 to 20 characters on the screen at once. There's just so many problems. The 6-player party mode is not supported by rollback. The raid boss mode also does not have rollback. People like me are having problems claiming the DLC, so even though I bought Android 21 on the PS4 version, it's not letting me claim her on the PS5 version. This is a glitch that some people are having with all the characters, so the game is actually making you rebuy all the characters. For me, it's making me rebuy Android 21, but for some people, it's making them rebuy literally the entire DLC roster. So, And also, I don't know if this has been fixed, but as of yesterday, the update had not come out on Xbox and PC. So literally, PlayStation was the only place that got the update for at least 24 hours. I don't know if they fixed it. I have not checked, but yeah. Um, Absolutely insane. So the game is completely broken. It's making people rebuy everything. Update didn't even come out on half the systems. Uh, Really, this is one of it completely broke the game. The game is just completely broken. Uh, Pretty much all the update did was make online playable, but at what cost? I mean, some people literally just lost all the DLC that they have to pay for. I'm sure they're gonna fix it, but I mean, how is this even a problem after 18 months? It took them 18 months to add an update. The update added nothing to the game. No new characters, no new stages. All the update did was change the netcode from delay to rollback. And it completely broke the game. That's all they did. 18 months for a bare minimum update that does worse than the bare minimum because people are losing things that they paid for. The update's not even coming out on some systems. It's just delayed for no reason. There's so many glitches. It's like you would think it took them 3 months to come out with this. Anyways, like, subscribe. Let me know how you feel about this. This really is a tragic way to end this game's life cycle, but yeah, I mean, it's always how this game was treated. Anyways, peace.